Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachardoramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoramamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Lord Krishna, the embodiment of bliss, who came to establish dharma and punish the wicked. Let us pray to him to lead us from unreal to real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, that is meditation, yoga of meditation. Each yoga is a direct path for the realization of God. Jnana Yoga also deals with the method of practicing meditation. It also prescribes certain disciplines. It also wants the aspirant to be pure enough. Then it specifically instructs how to meditate and where to meditate, how to meditate, on what to meditate. All these aspects are very clearly pointed out. So verse number 11 and 12. Shishauddeshe pratisthapya stiramasana atmanaha natyutritam natinicham chelajana kushottaram tatrekagram manakritva yadachittendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjad yogamatma vishuddhaye. So, here Lord Krishna tells how one should meditate, where to meditate, and all these details. He says, in a clean spot, having established a firm seat of his own, neither too high nor too low, with kusha grass, a deer or tiger skin, and a cloth placed one over the other. There, seated on that seat, making the mind one-pointed and subduing actions of the mind and the senses, let the yogi practice meditation for the purification of the self. Once the purification is attained in a proper way, realization is imminent. Just like when you see the twilight in the morning, it indicates the sun rises. Any moment it is visible. Just like that, if you have purified heart, you are getting immediately, anytime, the vision of the deity. So, here it is said, you must choose a clean spot. Cleanliness is very much emphasized. Not only external cleanliness, but also internal cleanliness. That's why we always say, prepare your mind. Now I am going to meditate. I am going to think of God. I am going to pray. So with that idea, you should start doing things. So what it tells is that feel yourself little clean before you start the meditation. Take a bath, wear fresh clothes, and go to a place which is kept clean, neat and clean. People are very fastidious about keeping the toilets very clean. But are they giving same attention for keeping the house clean? So, what I mean to say, that's the first discipline that the aspirant should very strictly follow. That is maintaining cleanliness. Particularly when you are going to practice spiritual disciplines. So, taking the bath, or sometimes you can wash your hands and mouth and feet. Feel yourself fresh. And you must invoke yourself a kind of inspiration. Now I am going to practice meditation. So with great humbleness and readiness, one should go into meditation room. That means there must be a definite place to think of God undisturbed. It is meant only for that purpose. Just like we do puja mandir, it is meant only for worshipping God. Full concentration to be there while doing the worship. That's the idea behind it. So, when you are entering into meditation room, already the mind is set to think of God. So, clean spot, clean place, making yourself clean, enter into the meditation room and have a firm seat. Here it is given, of course, kusha grass, and over the kusha grass you keep deer or tiger skin. Over that you spread a cloth. But you can have a comfortable seat, that's what it means. And they say it's not too low or too high, etc. The idea is you should not allow the mind to go into a state of laziness. Suppose you are too comfortable sitting on double cushion. Of course, to begin with you may start nicely. Within a second or two, you will be snoring. The tendency of the mind is to sleep. But meditation is a process where the mind is to be kept awakened full time, from the beginning to the end. You should be fully awakened. That means you are fully conscious, fully aware of what you are doing. So when you are attentive, then you will see 75% of disturbances will be gone. If you are inattentive, you don't know from nowhere it comes, all sorts of things jump into the mind and spoil the meditation. So, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna used to say, when you sit for meditation, imagine, put a signboard, don't enter, no entry for anybody at this time. Have that idea in the mind. Feel that you have put a signboard. All these things are prescribed so that We should be able to do it properly. That's the idea. Simply sitting and closing the eyes doesn't mean you are meditating. You may or may not meditate. 99% they are not meditating. 1% of course. Well, at least I should say they are struggling. From struggling point of view, I will say okay. But struggling, and up to what time? Every day, every year, every month, like that. There should be some progress in your struggle. Anyway, there you must sit on the seat of your own. Not changing the seat, today one seat, tomorrow another seat. There are so many seats are there. Take one and drag it one and sit there. Next day you come, another seat. No. You must have your own seat. As soon as you sit on that meditation seat, you should feel immensely. The idea, the mood should come. Mood of meditation should come. That's the idea. Everything you must have your own. So then, seated on that seat, now you should make the mind one-pointed. That means if you are watchful about the working of the mind, that helps a lot to make the mind one-pointed. And subduing actions of the mind and the senses. Yogi, that is the aspirant, should practice meditation for the purification of the self. So, in this verse, these two verses, Lord Krishna has mentioned where to sit for meditation, how to sit, what to do, all these are dealt with. So, the place of meditation should be clean. Idea is, in such a place, pure and noble thoughts come to the mind. If you sit in a dirty place, dirty thoughts will come to the mind. That's general. That means the impure place gives rise to impure thoughts in the mind. So, the yogi should choose comfortable posture for meditation. There are so many asanas prescribed in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Hatha Yoga. So many asanas are there. You choose the asana posture which is comfortable to you and hold on to that asana whenever you sit for meditation. Then he should see that his senses and mind are not going outward, and then fix his mind on the meditation of the paramatma. So to begin with, when you sit on the seat of meditation, the first thing that we should do is to watch the mind. Let me see what the mind, how it runs. If you are watchful, the mind is very clever. It remains quiet. It doesn't go hither thither. So, when the mind stops its dancing, then hold on that mind and fix it on the paramatma, the divine spirit, the divine consciousness, the supreme soul, or the form of God or goddesses on whom you are meditating. And there's a great importance for this one-pointed attention, because there's great power in that concentration. Probably we have seen the scattered sun rays when made to pass through the lens produce tremendous power of burning. It burns paper, cloth, anything, because all the rays are focused on the lens. It is passing through the lens, it becomes heated up. Tremendous power is generated. In the same way, the scattered rays of the mind over worldly things, when turned back and directed towards Atman or the Divine Lord, a special power issues forth. And here, what it burns? In the case of lens, it burns the cloth or paper, whatever it is. Here, the purified, one-pointed mind burns the veil of ignorance. Ajnana nash. This way, mind should be made one-pointed and set it into meditation for the purification of the heart. For the realization of Atman, purification of the heart and mind is very important. Just as a seed sown in good soil yields good result, in the same way, in the clean and purified heart, the best result of realization of Atman is achieved. Therefore, conducive place for meditation, like chapel, temple, clean seat are very necessary for steady progressive meditation, for getting good result. What does the result means? You get immense peacefulness and serenity and joy after successful one-pointed meditation. You don't feel tired. On the other hand, you feel highly relaxed after meditation. That's the test of your true meditation. If the meditation is done properly, it must give you a very good relaxation. That's the gist of these two verses. The next verse, 13th verse, Samam kaya shiro grivam dhariyan achalam stiraha samprekshya nasikakram svam dishascharvalokayan. Sitting is all right, choosing the clean place is all right. Then what should be done? One should sit firmly on the body, on the seat, holding his body, head and neck erect and perfectly still, gazing at the tip of his nose without looking around. In Raja Yoga also we have seen a person who is practicing meditation should sit erect, like straight line, vertical line. You should not bend your head, bend your back, etc. Turning your head left side, right side. No. Straight. You can see, if you want to have a good idea of how that posture should be, please see Vivekananda in meditation. Like a stick, vertical stick. So, the yogi practicing meditation should firmly hold his body, head and neck erect. They should not be bent in any manner. Sitting like a vertical line, it helps Kundalini power to flow unobstructed, easily through Sushumna channel and reach 1,000-petaled lotus center of the brain. Every individual, whether man or woman, has this Kundalini power. Everyone has it, but it is not awakened. There is a process of awakening the Kundalini Shakti. It needs lot of discipline and purity. It is said that Kundalini power is at the tip of the backbone, at the bottom of the backbone, spinal cord. It is compared to a serpent. Its hood is downwards. When through proper meditation, it rises hood upwards. Then it starts running upwards. The energy flows upwards through the spinal cord. Spinal cord is the backbone. And that should be straight for the energy to flow. If it is little bend, means it obstructs the flow of the energy. So then, after some time, when you are well established in proper meditation, you will have many spiritual, blissful experiences leading to self-realization. They are hallmarks on your way to spiritual experience. They give an example. If you observe the military exercise, how the soldiers walk very straight, keeping the whole body straight. They walk steadily. In the same way, the aspirant practicing meditation should sit erect. So also we see the student studying in the straight sitting posture. He gets clear concentration and he grasps the subject clearly. Of course, nowadays we see people, most of the students study lying on the bed, because they can't stand discipline. That's it. No doubt they do study, but sitting and studying has more value than lying down and studying. In lying down posture, possibility of going to sleep or dreaming unnecessarily, dreaming daydreams. Now the word stiram is used here. Stiram. Dharyan achalam stiraha. That is, it is used to indicate that the yogi should fully focus while doing spiritual practices, such as reading of scriptures or doing meditation. Such a person should not allow himself to be distracted in any manner. He should not frequently go in and out. Till his spiritual practice are done, he should not move from his seat. That's it. While sitting, his eyes should not be moved this way, that way, but should be fixed on the tip of the nose. This is one of the meditations given here in Bhagavad Gita. But one can concentrate on any center. There are 7 centers in the spinal cord. All the centers are situated on the spinal cord, heart center, throat center, center between the eyes. How they are located in the backbone? They say you draw a perpendicular line. Where it joins the spinal cord, that's the center. Anyway, the idea is, suppose you close the eyes, When you are opening the eyes, you are seeing outside, is it not? Automatically, when you close the eyes, you are seeing inside. That means you are seeing inward. So your eye attention should go on the spinal cord, on the center, the heart center, the center between the chest. Draw a line which joins the spinal cord. That is the point of center. Anyway, not to have any confusion, you can meditate even closing the eyes, even seeing. You are not seeing actually outside, but you feel more easy. Anyway, the idea is not to give any room for distraction. One can choose any center for meditation according to one's temperament or according to instructions of the Guru. If a person keeps his eyes completely open, what will happen? He may be diverted from his concentration by seeing things around. If you close his eyes completely, he may fall asleep. So, what they say, the eyes are nearly closed when fixed on the tip of the nose. Not allowing his eyes to see anything which may cause distraction, the yogi closed his eyes and practiced meditation. The idea is somehow you should be able to concentrate. In Yoga Shastra, it is called Trataka. Trataka sadhana, they say. One develops special power in this practice. That is, closing the eyes, not allowing the eyes to see outside. Whatever we do through senses, the energy is being dissipated. So the energy of the eye also is dissipated when you keep on seeing things. When you close the eyes to a certain amount of period, to that extent you are conserving the energy. Anyway, this Trataka sadhana, that is one of the practices in the Yoga Shastra. In that practice, one develops special power. There is a very interesting episode in Mahabharata showing this Trataka power, which Gandhari acquired by closing her eyes all the time. Gandhari, the queen of Hastinapur, wife of Dhritarashtra. Because Dhritarashtra was blind, she didn't want to expose her eyes outside at all. She would always cover the eyes with cloth. She would never open the eyes. So, since she did not allow her eyes to see anything outside, she developed a special power in her eyes. Just before the commencement of Kurukshetra war, Duryodhana wanted to have blessings from his mother Gandhari. So he came to meet the mother, seeking her blessings for the victory in the ensuing battle. Well, the mother was tremendously attached to Duryodhana. Whatever evil things he did, still Gandhari could not decide properly because of her attachment to the son. So whatever the son would do, in some way or other, she would defend. In some way or other, she would excuse. Now when he came to seek her blessings, Gandhari told him to come next day completely naked so that she could see him with her eyes opened while blessing. That was the only time Gandhari opened her eyes. So accordingly, next day, he was proceeding rapidly to meet his mother without any cloth on his body. Sri Krishna, Sarvajna, the knower of everything, he was concerned about the danger because Krishna was certain that if Gandhari sees him, as she said, in his naked body posture, Duryodhana would be unconquerable. You can't defeat Duryodhana. He would get such a diamond strength body. Shri Krishna knew that. So, what he did was, Duryodhana was removing all the clothes and walking fast before anybody could see it, should go and meet blessings, take blessings of the mother. But suddenly Krishna comes there from nowhere. And he sees Duryodhana walking without any cloth on his body. And Krishna very politely asked him, "Where are you going?" Huh? It's very strange. I have not seen people going naked in this way. Where are you running like that? Duryodhana was embarrassed. He thought nobody would see. But Krishna saw. And he had to disclose. He is asking direct question. Direct question, direct answer should come. So, he said he is going to see his mother for seeking her blessings. Then Shri Krishna tells him, well, it's all right. Seeking blessings from your mother is perfectly all right. But it's not proper for the youth to go undressed to see his mother. You are a youth. Is it not shameful to go and see the mother in that way? You are not a kid. So, he advised him, don't go this way. At least cover your private parts of the body before seeing the mother. Duryodhana thought it was proper to do so. So what he did, he covered his private parts of the body up to the thigh and stood before the mother calling her for blessings. Gandhari thought he had come according to her instructions. So she opened her eyes, first time, removed her cloth, with opened eyes, gazed at the body from top to bottom. Wherever Gandhari's eyes fell on his body, they become very strong like diamond. Vajra means diamond. But the private parts of his thighs, since covered with cloth, remained weak, fleshy part. Later on, you see, when there was Gada Yuddha, mace fight between Duryodhana and Bhima, Bhima struck Duryodhana's thighs and killed him. There was a weak spot where mother eyes could not be focused. Such is the power of the eyes. And particularly people who practice long hours of meditation. In a way, there are, nowadays we may not find such people, but there are people who would meditate whole day. Even though it's very rare, still there are. And there is another very interesting incident in the life of Sri Krishna himself. One Kala Yaman, I don't know if you know that story. He came with a big army to fight with Krishna at Mathura. And all the Yadavas were puzzled. Such a big army, thousands and thousands of soldiers are there. Our army is very, very small compared to that. How Krishna would handle this? They were all puzzled and became very concerned. But Krishna, he took everything lightly. He knew how to handle this situation. So first he went there to face them as if he's starting a fight. But then all of a sudden, Sri Krishna began to run. That provoked this Kala Yaman. And he said, he ordered his army, stop here. I will chase him and kill him. Because he was a very powerful person. So, he was running after Krishna. Because all the soldiers cannot run, So, he began to follow Krishna. And Krishna ran here and there. Finally, he entered a cave where a sage was meditating all the time. And that was known only to Sri Krishna. He went there suddenly and hid himself in some corner. It's a dark, cave. In some corner somewhere he disappeared. Immediately after 5 minutes or so, that fellow, that Yaman, Kali Yaman, he came rushing to see Krishna. And he dashed into the cave, and in his rush, he disturbed the meditation of that sage, yogi. He got disturbed. First time he got disturbed. Who is that rascal? He opened his eyes. Finished. That Kala Yaman was burned to ashes by the gaze of the eyes. Krishna thought. He knew that would be like that. And all the soldiers, thousands of soldiers, they ran away. Because there is no commander in chief. How the army can go? They ran away. So, such is the power of the eyes. So, while practicing meditation, his attention should be totally fixed on the Atman inside, the indwelling consciousness, or the indwelling paramatma. If you are worshipping Divine Mother Kali, you see Divine Mother Kali in the heart. Or Shiva, Ramakrishna, Divine Mother Shabda, anybody whom you choose. Try to see only that. Practice that. By practice it is possible. As soon as you close, you will see Sri Ramakrishna in your heart. You should practice this. Your practice should be such. As soon as you close your eyes, no disturbance should be there. You are immediately drawn towards Sri Ramakrishna. It's possible only when you follow all these instructions meticulously and take this spiritual practice seriously and sincerely. Sincerity is important. Now verse number 14. Prashantatma vigatapir brahmachari vrate stitaha manasammin chitto yukta asita mantraha. With serene and fearless mind, firm in the vow of celibacy, having the mind under control and thinking of me, Sri Krishna says, me means the Supreme Lord. Let the yogis sit, having me as the supreme goal. See how point by point Sri Krishna is instructing. Clear instructions are there. You don't have to run 1,000 miles for instructions. It is there. You have to practice it. Prashantatma. Prashant means the aspirant's mind should be calm. Calm like the calmness of the deep ocean. If you go to the center of the ocean, it is serene and calm. The mind should be like that. How that calmness one could achieve? When one is freed from attachment and aversion, ragadvesh. Ragadvesh yuktanam. Ragadvesh. The whole world is boiling on account of this attachment and hatred, likes and dislikes. So, when mind is freed from these terrible, dangerous clutches of ragadvesh, then alone his mind get into state of serenity. Then, Vigatabhihi, the second quality that is required for the aspirant practicing meditation is fearlessness. Vigatabhihi, one should be fearless. So Brahmanji was talking to his disciples. He said about fear, he said, fear? You are coming to Sri Ramakrishna, what fear can be? What fear can there be? We all of us are his children. Don't be afraid. The Lord doesn't care about externals. He sees our innermost heart. There should be no fear in approaching the divine. You have nothing to fear. Chant his name. Directly telling, chant his name. That is Sri Ramakrishna's name. For a few days it will be difficult. Bear with. Then he will do everything for you. Have no more fear. You will realize great bliss. You will know what fun life can be. There is nothing to fear. What fear can there be for the Lord's children? If you keep chanting his name, all your bonds will be broken and you will become fearless. Banish all fear and weakness. Never weaken your mind by thinking of past mistakes People keep on brooding over guilt, brooding. By brooding, you are not uprooting the impurity. On the other hand, you are making it more stubborn. Sin exists only in man's eye. In God's eye, there is no sin. One glance of his and the sins of many, many births are wiped away. You have come to Sri Ramakrishna. Hold on to him. You have nothing to fear. These are the words of Swami Brahmaji. Please read Spiritual Teachings of Swami Brahma, Eternal Companion. It's an excellent book. Very important textbook for all the aspirants. In fact, when Yatish Swamiji initiated me, and he talked with me, gave me some instructions, and then gave this book, Spiritual Teachings of Swami Brahmananda. Read this book. Read this book, he told. Still remember Manas, and those teachings are really fantastic. If you have not read, please read that book. That's about Vigatabihi. The third quality which is mentioned by Sri Krishna is Brahmachari Vrata. Brahmachari Vrat, which many people interpret in many different ways according to their convenience. Brahmacharya means maintenance of continence. It may be difficult, but the fact is you must control this idea. Because that is the main source of samsara, main source of binding you down onto this worldly mess. You are pushed down. You are not allowed to raise up your head. You are not allowed to think because of the force of this non-continence. So, make your mind strong through the observance of continence and the practice of meditation. Again, I am quoting from Brahmaji's teachings. Swamiji has dealt with all subjects there. What a subject you want, you read. Great strength can be acquired through the practice of continence. A true celibate can do the work of 25 men. Practice continence, japam and meditation, and seek the company of the holy. Perfect continence is the sole condition of success in spiritual life. But it is difficult, even impossible, to practice absolute purity without love and faith in God. The world is full of temptations which arouse passions. Every day you will see 99% of the people rushing in mad pursuit after sensual pleasures. Your mind is in constant danger of becoming contaminated. These are the words of Brahmaji. These are not my words. Therefore, Swamiji says, therefore, you must engage your mind in thinking good thoughts, studying good books, and discussing uplifting subjects. You must spend your time in worship of God, in service to holy people, and in contemplation. This is the only way to shape your character. First of all, be firm in your vow of chastity. This is called vrat, brahmacharya, vrat. That is vow of brahmacharya. Everything else will follow. You can't live a continent life unless you devote yourself to God, and without continence, realization of God is impossible. Unless you realize God, you will not find happiness, and without happiness, life is vain. And then another discipline, Swami Chidananda says, learn to speak the truth always, besides observing continence. Without perfect chastity, no one can hold fast to high spiritual ideas. To nourish the body, mind and brain, and to secure their fullest development, continence is essential. In a chaste person, a special spiritual nerve is developed. With its aid, his memory, his capacity for spiritual understanding, and his faith in God increase. He is able to experience spiritual truths which lie beyond the reach of the senses. That is the reason why spiritual teachers stress the ideal of chastity. So, in case of family people also, it is said, it doesn't mean because you are a family man, it is not, you can have that sexual type of life throughout your life. It doesn't mean that way. There also, it's allowed, you are allowed to practice continence. After the birth of a child or two, both husband and wife should live like brother and sister. Sri Ramakrishna also says that. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that the power of the mind becomes strengthened by the practice of continence. A man so strengthened is not overcome by lust and anger. Passions seem trivial to it. It is not possible to meditate properly unless you keep continent. The craving of lust is very subtle and extremely difficult to control. That's why a spiritual aspirant must always be careful in associating with people. Through continence, a special power is stored up in the brain. If a person becomes established in continence, he will begin to see the expression of God everywhere. But remember, it is not possible to practice continence without devoting yourself to the practice of japa. Brahmaji always says, gives importance for practicing japa. Mother also used to say, Mother also. Sadhguru also used to say, repeat the mantra of the God. That's the easiest way. That takes care of everything. Swami Chidananda said, another direct disciple, the secret of success is continence. One must practice absolute continence if one desires to have this higher knowledge. Swami Chidananda, another direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, continence is essential for divine realization. From continence comes strength. We must make ourselves fit. For the accumulation of spiritual power, absolute continence is needed. Nothing drops from the skies all of a sudden. Why don't all have concentration? Why? Because they don't fulfill the conditions necessary for it. Namely, absolute continence. So, practicing absolute continence makes a person strong in every respect. So, I think we'll stop here. We shall continue the same topic next Tuesday. The next point is, which Krishna has dealt with here in this verse, control of mind and senses. Control of mind and senses. We have become slaves. Slaves of our mind and senses. So we are dancing to the tune of the mind and the senses. No. If you are a spiritual aspirant, you must stop dancing to the tune of your mind and senses. You must have strict control over them. You must make them behave. Instead of their dominating over you, you should dominate over your mind and senses. Because you are the master of your body, your mind, intellect and senses. So if you are not paying attention to control, then who is responsible for the downfall? So, upliftment is possible, spiritual success is possible, realization of God is also certainly possible, only when you control your body, your mind and senses. And being steady in spiritual practices. It takes time. Don't expect today I sow a seed, next day how much it has grown. It won't grow immediately like that. It takes long time for the tree to come up. Same way, when you do practices, don't keep on becoming anxious about the result. Focus your attention on practice properly. The result will come by itself. It has to come and it will come. The result depends upon the way how you do the practice. If the practice is not done properly, the result also will not come properly. It is like that. So, practicing also varies from person to person. It depends upon what type of impressions the person is holding in his mind. This is not the first time you are taking human life. How many births you have passed through? All through the births you are carrying the same mind. Body and senses may be different, but mind is same. So annihilation of the mind is the final before realization of God. Mind dissolves. Mind exists as long as you desire. When you attain to the state of desirelessness, mind has no function to do. It falls by itself. And you will know who you are, and you are immensely peaceful and blissful. That's how all our scriptures, all our Mahatmas, teachers have told us. Well, let us try to practice it sincerely. That's all. Nothing to worry. You should worry if you are not practicing it. You should be happy if you are practicing it. Like that you should think. That's the way we should proceed. So don't miss coming to ashrama. Be more regular. Come more times. Not it's limited only weekly, once only I come, afterwards I don't have to. No. Told you. If out of 7 days, if you are not come 6 days, that means 6 days you are absent. Without going for analysis. Truth is, 7 days in a week, 6 days you are absent, 1 day you are come. That too, 1 or 2 hours. No. Whatever may be the reason, you must force yourself to enter into satsang, holy company. Coming to temple. I have seen people because in America I have not seen a single person like that. But in India, in Bangalore, I have seen people running to the chapel before the commencement of the Arati. For Arati will start, I should be there before. Literally running. I have seen people running, men, women running. I am speaking from Bangalore temple. Between the gate and the temple is quite distance. Like this, same distance probably. Our gate, southern gate, people rushing. And how the people enjoy. Amazing. Amazing, really amazing. And every Sunday, whole ashram is full of kids. They come, they got Sunday activity for the children. And because the kids are coming, parents are coming. So like that. So the noble thoughts, noble ideas are given to the children from the young age, from the childhood, from the boyhood, at the age of 8 or 10, up to college level. They keep on coming and doing ashram work. The end result is they want to join the Ramakrishna mission. Like that the story goes. Anyway, that's what many people say. If you go there, somehow you are drawn there. It's true. See, people are afraid to come to ashrama. Rather, it should be reverse. People should be afraid to go into worldly things. They think they lose their worldliness. Let them lose. They know definitely that worldliness will go. It is true. Worldliness will go. That is the purpose of ashrama. Otherwise, how do you come to God at all? Why do you want to hug yourself to the worldly things and worldly involvements, worldly nonsense? Feeling miserable all the time. It's full of tensions. Anyway, so we create problems. We are our own cause for anything. This is the Swami's poem is very good. I hope you memorize that poem. Me only to blame for anything that happens. Me only to blame. Good, good, bad, bad. Beautiful poem. Excellent poem. The more you read, the more you become humble and thoughtful and serious. Like that. We have taken up this human life not to indulge in useless, sensuous pleasures, temptations of the world. The human life is meant for realizing the divine. Sri Ramakrishna has said, All the Mahatmas have said the goal of human life is to realize the divine. 99.9% of the people do not know that the goal of human life is to realize God. Most of the people think life is meant for enjoyment. Meant for enjoying the world. That's paradoxical. We shall close. Om Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kamsachanuramandam Devaki Paramatma Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Let us offer our salutations to Lord Krishna, the embodiment of bliss, who came to establish Dharma and punish the wicked. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.